let's see where I got. So yeah, I was in a really big mess for 2 years. I didn't know what's going on. My father would come and visit, and he would bring his girlfriend at the time, and who was that girlfriend was a little bit older than me. Uh, then later on, married someone younger than me, divorced her, and now he's with someone else. Anyways, um, yeah, and he was like, yeah, this could be your new mom. I was like, oh, that's a really bad joke to make. I'm still trying to process it. And my dad is British, he's a strong man. And he's like, uh, what? Why are you emotional, you puffer? Pufter in British is probably like gay, right? He would call me a queer, you queer boy. Sorry if there are any queers here. But he said, you're a queer, you're a pufter. And I was like, it was hard to even have my father say that to me. And I was shocked. And I couldn't handle it. Every time he would visit, he would be drinking, making me drink, and always call me a pufter because I was in tears, and I just couldn't handle it. I couldn't call my mom too, even though it's not my mom's fault. I know that in my head, but my heart, I just couldn't. There's so much resentment there too, because as a child, I think I deserve good parents. That's how I feel. And that's my responsibility to my children, right? I have to have a good relationship with my wife. And that's how I believe for my parents too. So even if it's my dad's, it's obviously my dad's fault. He's the worst one here. But equally, I hated my mom too. I couldn't control that hate. And it was killing. After 2 years, even though I was drinking, I tried to kill myself. I couldn't. And there was several attempts, but I couldn't do it. And it came to a point where I really reflected and I thought, this is killing me. This is really, but this is not the way I want to live. That was one thing I was really sure of. I really didn't want to live the way that I was living right now. I didn't want to do drugs. I didn't want to do all these things. I didn't want to be sad anymore. I didn't know how to do this. I picked up the divine principle. I'm very sorry to say this. It did nothing to did nothing to me. I read it, threw it away. I was like, I don't need this now. This is not what I want. And so I went back to Japan and I went to see my mom. My determination, I wanted to cut them off. I want to cut my father off, but if I'm going to cut my dad off, I'm going to cut my mother off too. So, and I moved my university and transferred. I sold all my belongings, my car, everything. It was easy back then to secure, I thought. I was ready to get my South African passport and then travel somewhere else. So to truly disappear, because I didn't want to, I just couldn't handle it. My mom didn't say anything. She couldn't when I said, Mom, I'm cutting you off. I can't handle this. And she didn't say anything. She just cried. And when I left that house, I felt so liberated. I felt so free, so happy. I sent an email to my dad. Since it's none of my business, you are none of my business too. So I cut him off, changed my email. Done. Sweet. I was so happy. Of course, I didn't want anybody to find me, but I didn't know anybody in Japan. I didn't have any friends. But that's how I was brought up. I have a lot of cousins. So I picked one cousin who hates the church. Obviously, right? I have some cousins who love the church. Crazy ones, right? Oh, I can't believe we're related. So I choose the one that hates the church. Well, he's my job. And I stayed with him. He gave me a phone and he took care of me. And he loves me. I love him. And he said, don't worry, no one's going to know that you're here. And I think it was the next day I came back to Tokyo. She was in Kochi, in a different prefecture. And my auntie called me. Now, like I said, I had three aunties. One strong and scary one, Another one, strong, scary, but someone that I have to listen to. Even though I hate her when she speaks to me, I don't know why, but I think spiritually I'm completely controlled by her, right? And there's another auntie, I don't care. She can say anything to me, I'm like, go away, you gotta go. And she will say, how dare you talk to me like this? I'm like, what are you gonna do about this, right? So it's interesting. I have three different relationships with three different aunties, all church members. The one that called me was the one that is scary and I can't say no to. And I was wondering, how did she get this phone number? Who I was staying with her son, right? Her son who hated the church, who also disappeared, apparently, but not so much. Apparently, my auntie, who is a prayer, she prays and offers devotions with her siblings every single day. They pray and pray and pray. The previous night, she got a message from heaven. Your your nephew is in Japan. Your nephew is in Japan. Call him. All right, call him. And so, she called my son, and I think they made a little deal that she won't bother him if he gives up me. So my beloved cousin delightfully gave me up, and of course, a sweet revenge is always good. Several years later, when he disappeared off the grid, because he really didn't want to do anything with the movement and his parents. So he left everything. He even left the country. Everybody was looking, but everybody couldn't find him. But there was only one person who knew where he was, because he told me where he was. And one day, his mom showed up at his home in Switzerland. and, and my cousin was like, he knows I told him. I told her. And he's like, why did you do that? I'm like, remember that day? So, where's my cousin today? He loves true parents. He loves true parents. He will die for his mother. And that's a whole different story, another time. Anyways, she invited me to eat dinner. And I didn't want to go, but of course, I can't say no to her. And so I'd go and be with her, and she buys me dinner. And, food is love. We ate some good sushi, and I knew what she was going to try and do. She's the one who's always initiating these workshops, always trying to talk to me about the workshop and her parents. And so when we sat down, I said to her, Auntie, I know what you're trying to do. I'm not interested. Okay, I'm not interested. So just let her have a good dinner, and I just cut my mother off. So in a sense, you are a stranger to me. But because you're buying me food, I'm here. And she didn't say anything, and she just held my hand and said, I love you. And I was like, oh, come on, let's not do this right now, come on, right? I don't want this. And she said, I love you again. I said, I don't want this. I even said, okay, I know what you're trying to do, but I'm seriously, this movement is not for me. The blessing is not for me. I know I'm not a second generation, so that means I don't have to follow your church. I'm a Jacob's child. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what our church stands for. I don't want this anymore. Leave me alone, please. My parents couldn't work it out. And I said, Auntie, your blessing sucks too. Do you love your husband? Obviously not. Look at your children. How about the other aunties? They don't love each other. So why are you telling me the blessing is great when you can't do this? So leave me alone. Of course, later on, I apologized to her many years later. But at that time, I was trying to survive. I didn't want this anymore. So she didn't say anything, and she said, I love you once again. And so, I'll make it very quick, sorry guys. And I started to shed a lot of tears. I couldn't control my tears. and I didn't know what it was. Of course, looking back now, I think that was the only thing that was missing in my life at that moment was love. And as gay it sounds for me at the time to say I wanted love, but it was something that I really wanted. My family was broken. I mean, I was broken, but I really wanted to be in a family, and it, yeah, I was in tears. And she waited for me to stop crying, and then she just started to say, "You are always going to be my son. I'm always going to love you no matter what." Uh, and I really want to take away your pain. And I really felt, of course, looking back, I didn't think anything at the time. Now I really felt, I think, Heavenly Parents' love through her. Later on, she told me, many years later, after I had children, blessed in the movement, she said that she offered so much devotion at that time. All the aunties were praying and offering devotion for more than 100 days beforehand for their family, for my family, because she noticed my mom was not in a good shape, and they find out that something was not right. And they could all feel that my family was not in a good shape. So they offered 120 days of night vigils from 12 to 4 a.m. and offered prayer relays every single day. And when the day finished, she received that message from heaven. That was the day when I was in Japan. And so she said that, "I want you to go to Chokyo. I want you to go for this 40-day workshop." And I really said to her, honestly, "Please don't ruin this moment, right? I don't want this workshop. I hate your movement. I don't like it. I don't understand it. I don't want this truth." But she said to me, "It doesn't matter because it's a place of love. And when you go to this workshop, you're going to really receive something. And if you don't receive anything, it's okay. I will still love you. I will not hate you. You'll still be my child, even if you're not a member of this movement. Even if you choose to marry someone outside, you are always going to be part of my family." And that really moved me. Because I grew up all alone without any friends. I don't have any childhood friends. It's only my cousins. And I don't even see them maybe once every 5 years. I don't have any friends. I only have my little brother who doesn't speak to me today because I'm a churchman. He's scared of this movement. Don't worry. I'm bringing him in. You know, he feels it. That's why he doesn't want to talk to me. When he talks to my wife and my children. Yeah, no worries with that. And so I felt really beat. I didn't know. So I said, "Okay, I'll do this 40 days. I know I'm not going to like it. But even if I bring other girls and you're going to still receive them as your daughter, even if I divorce and marry, because no worries, you'll always be my son." Of course, later on, she said to me, I was scared to say that to you. But it doesn't matter anymore because I love her so much. And so, okay, so I went to Korea. I didn't know where Korea was at the time. I went for a 40-day workshop with Champion. I was very nervous, and my plan was I would go there, but I would not attend anything, right? I didn't care who's gonna watch me, right? Uh, I'm 20 years old. I'm huge. No Koreans are gonna put me down and make me do something. That's what I thought. So on the way to Chongpyeong in the bus, there's a seat next to me. It was full of Japanese ladies, and I was thinking, wow, this country's weird. Why is this bus full of Japanese women wearing white? Uh, of course, later on, I found out it was all our membership. And then the lady sitting next to me was my mother. She came in later, and she was my mom. I was like, "Hey, Mama, Okasa, Tostano, what's going on?" And she said to me that last night, my auntie, her sister, called her, saying that if you don't want to lose your son, you're going to quit your job, get on the plane, and go to Korea tomorrow. And she did. And I was like, oh, this is not good. All these, for a lot of years, I just said, I worked for my aunties at her restaurant. And I was always surrounded by church members. There's one Hyung, this Jacob's child Hyung, there, a Japanese guy that I really, really loved so much. He was a perfect man. He never talked about women. He would always love true parents. And he was always highly talk about God. And he truly believed in his providence. And he would always embrace me. Even if I smoked in front of him, he would embrace me. Even if I did drugs in front of him, he will embrace me. Even if I talk bad about true parents, he'll still embrace me and even buy me food. And for many years, as had a relationship with him, I really thought, wow, this guy is amazing. Of course, later on, he reveals that every time I come, he would throw away pornographic magazines. You know, he would be patient and try not to punch me in the face because I would be spoken in front of her and talk bad about your parents. But he knew that at that time, I just needed love. So he gave that to me. And even though he reveals this today, I don't care. I don't care. He's my Sean, my brother, and I love him so much. And he was there in that bus too. And I was like, Sean, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh, you know what? Your auntie last night called me and said, I will pay your ticket. I'll pay everything. I'll even give you extra money. But I want you to be there for a 40-day workshop because I'm sending duty there. And my Hyung already knew what she wanted me, what wanted her for him to do. So my 40-day workshop was not a 40-day workshop smoking, drinking behind the scenes and not attending China. My 40-day workshop was my Hyung punching me, kicking me. He was a karate black belt. So literally he would be punching and kicking me. Every time I talked to a girl, he would punch me in the face. The second gen girls would be running away. And I always be saying, Hyung, what did I do wrong? He said, we don't talk to girls like that. Oh, okay. And if I'm in the back of the tank room, he would grab my ear and drag me to the front. The other people are saying, don't do this, don't do this. And we go, shut up, you know, I take responsibility. I said, Sean, what's going on? It hurts. Huh? You have to sit in the front because that's where the most grace is. And that was my 40-day workshop. And what was happening in Japan? My aunties, they were doing a relay of 7-day fasting. All three of them, 7 days, 7 days, 7 days, for 40 few days, for 40 days during my time. And they were doing night vigils every single night because they knew if I changed, if I kept there, if I really found love, that something is going to happen in that family. And I didn't know what was going on during those 40 days. I thought Chanyang was weird. I thought the people there in Korea was weird. I thought, and I reaffirmed myself, our movement is very weird. But I was happy drug-free. I was happy alcohol-free. And more than anything else, I really felt something very different this time. And I really wanted to really change my life. And that was my initiative, that was my motivation, that was my initial thought, and that was my new beginning from then onwards. What I wanted to say is, I didn't do anything. I was a broken kid. I was broken, and I'm still broken. Divorce really puts you into rough places, and bad relationships of your parents really, really affects the children a lot. I feel like I'm not worthy of marriage. I'm not worthy to live at many, many times of my life. My parents eventually divorced. My father is now with his fourth woman. He's happy now. My mother is by herself, and she is waiting for my father to pass away. so she can receive a world physical world blessing with my father, which I'm like, you don't have to do this. Find your own man, receive the blessing. And she goes, no, it's okay. This is my determination. This is my devotion. My aunties, since then, are still doing many prayers, and they believe in that. And I believe in that as well. And of course, there's going to be part two, which hopefully you'll invite me again. I'll come and speak again. But part two is me being here in the movement. Have led my cousin, who was, I'm in the family. I'm one of the. We have about 10, 12 second gen cousins who are in the who are second generation. But at that moment, no one was in the movement really practicing. Everybody was, fake, just, standing there. It's our community. But since then, several have received the blessing. And again, is it me? No, I don't think so. I think it's the devotion. But I really encourage the elders here, and I really see this throughout our communities. Devotion can really change. Devotion really can change. And then God, Heavenly Parent, will work when the timing is right. And I know there's a lot of aunties and uncles here in this community as well. And I really hope aunties and uncles can speak to their nephews and nieces in this movement and guide them. But don't just go and talk to them. Please offer devotion and prayers so that when the timing is right, because all of us, I feel, are always searching for love. And this is something that I really felt strongly. So I hope that this could encourage some of our elders here not to give up on our youngers, because they might be far away and really good at disappearing. But we are all searching. We're all yearning and longing for something, that love from our Heavenly Parent, true parents. And we can't see and feel it, but it has to be through you or the uncles and aunties in our movement. So I'd like to offer a prayer. Most beloved Heavenly Parent and victorious true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind, we have gathered here for this Sunday service, but also for this Chombo weekend workshop with a theme of not just liberating spirit and really liberating our ancestors, but also rebirth, Heavenly Parent. Through this Chombo work and through this time, especially at this time when our true parents, when our true mother, our true parents are going through so much hardships, let us really come together and offer this sincere devotion together for our true parents, for this community, and for ourselves and our children. Because we know that a new beginning doesn't happen without investment, devotion, and condition, and sincere devotion. Let this community from this Chombo work as it's the second time to grow into a different level of Heavenly Parent. Let us all truly experience that love of our Heavenly Parent, true parents, from each other, Heavenly Parents. And I truly wish and pray for all those blessed children who are in so much pain and so much suffering that they don't even know, to be connected through one of us, Heavenly Parents. I really hope that through this time that we can be your vessels, that we can be your hands, the hands of love, to really connect each and every single one of us, so that as a community, not just a certain number of us, but as a community, we can truly pray for our true parents, especially at this difficult time. Let this community, Heavenly Parents, prosper in the midst of your love and your blessings, Heavenly Parent. Let the community today, this week, really feel and experience and be one with you, Heavenly Parent, as we are here through this time. I'm so grateful to be part of this community, this moment. I'm so grateful as we always feel Heavenly Parent's work in every single day of our lives. Let us really invite this positive spirit world and the absolute good ancestors together with us. And let this week be a week where we can live with these absolute good spirits, Heavenly Parent. Let us really mobilize the spirit world to help our true mother, our Holy Mother Han, the one Ummah, so that we can all live together, so that true mother, true parent, true father can live with so much happiness and no more worries, so that we can establish Cheonilguk substantially in Korea and then here in America. Let this community be the first community that could truly establish Cheonilguk substantially, Heavenly Parent. Starting from this community, I offer all this prayer in attendance of our Holy Mother Han, the true mother, the only begotten daughter, Holy Mother Han, Mahe Manoma. And of this prayer, my name is Ryuichi Stevens, a blessed family. Aju. Thank you very much. Kamsahamnida.